If an angel came to me last year and said, 6 weeks from now, somebody in Wuhan, China is going to roll the dice on some discount bat from the manager's special bin at the wet market, and yada, 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 a nasty killer virus out there kills 200,000 Americans, destroys the economy, and threatens to further divide the country into armed camps, and you won't be able to go to a restaurant or a bar, let alone the closed theaters and shuttered live music venues. You will not be able to travel without risking getting the virus or spreading the virus, which might kill you because you aren't young and in great shape. You'll close down the synagogue in March and start streaming services from your dining room while putting together a webcast production of these high holiday services next year. You'll wear a mask everywhere you go unless you're part of the 20% or so that think it's either pointless or a hoax. Oh, the West Coast will be on fire again. Historic hurricane season. And I haven't mentioned the protests, race riots, and street violence involving criminal anarchists, white supremacists, and other assorted nuts. The election is already going to be contested 2 months before it happens. That's right, in America. And Facebook, the absolute irony today of all days, as you watch us on Facebook, yes, Facebook is only making everything worse. But wait, there's more. So let me tell you about Israel. Oh no, I'd say. What does Netanyahu do now? Oh, no, yeah, I mean, he's still him. It's, exactly what you'd think it would be. But they've also been ravaged by the virus. But they sign historic peace deals with an increasing number of Arab states. So that's good, right? So I would say to the angel that had just described maybe about 50% of what's happened in the last year, what the heck am I supposed to talk about? And the angel would say, oh, that's easy, murder hornets. I'd have thought that was a really weird joke. But it's not a joke. Here we are. Sadly, the reality of the virus and its threat has been denied, minimized, and dismissed by an alarming number of people. Nevertheless, its effect has been devastating to every community it touches, and it has shown an alarming capacity to spread. We would not be in the situation we are in right now if this virus were not completely out of control. It's airborne. You catch it by speaking face-to-face with people or by being near enough to breathe the same air they breathe. You spread it by speaking or shouting or singing or even whispering. And as a result, we find ourselves distant from each other. We can't even be in the same room anymore. Let me be as direct as I can. This virus is real. This virus is a destroyer. And the virus is not COVID-19. All of this is true of COVID as well. But there's another C virus, and its name is cynicism. The Torah reading today doesn't at first read like something that would help us deal with cynicism. It certainly doesn't seem like the best choice to promote a non-cynical view of our relationship with God. The near sacrifice of Isaac is on the surface cruel, if not capricious, although the point of the story is quite the opposite. The God of Abraham would never require that kind of sacrifice from any of us, simply as a test of loyalty. But I understand why one might be cynical. There have been bad outbreaks of cynicism before. In the last decades, before Rome destroyed Judea, the two great schools of Jewish learning and philosophy had been infected themselves. It was taught in a Baraita, For 2.5 years, the house of Shammai and the house of Hillel argued. These said, "Better for man never to have been created than to have been created." And these said, "Better for man to have been created than not to have been created." They counted, they took a vote, democracy in action, and they decided, better for man never to have been created than to have been created. But now that he has been created, they should sift through their actions. These are the greatest sages of their generation, revered holy men who decided that we were a mistake, but since we're here, let's make the best of it. That's not particularly inspiring, but it seems honest, and that's refreshing in an age of politicized ontology. Where there is no shared reality, well, the fabric of a society is hard to maintain, but I'll save the heavy stuff for Yom Kippur. Let's turn instead to the warning sign of infection. Now, some of the symptoms of cynicism are inflamed sense of entitlement, aching grievances, and loss of the sense of empathy. It is carried on our bitter words and sarcastic coughs, and it poisons all who breathe it in. It is what it is. It is what it is. A lack of faith in any God or trust in the crown of creation, the human soul. The belief that everything and everyone is corrupt, everybody else is in on a conspiracy or motivated only by self-interest. The concretized belief that it's all a scam. If not treated, these symptoms can become permanently disabling, if not fatal, to the spiritually vulnerable. The good news is there is a way to boost your spiritual immune system, and the compound is naturally occurring and scientifically proven to work, and it is perfectly safe. The best defense against this C virus is vitamin G, gratitude. It's found in everyday moments and occurs in therapeutic doses in our prayers and customs. When we pray and give thanks, we are reminded of all the good things we have, how lucky we are to be here, all that we have been given, as well as lucky to have had all whatever we have lost. All we still have, the Talmud suggests, even if all we have is the ability to be grateful. Our sages also suggest that there are people who need to give thanks. We pay attention to the fact that they don't use the word obligated. In other words, you don't have to give thanks, but you need to. I find that a fantastic differentiation to meditate upon this Rosh HaShana. I'm deeply grateful that we can do this, even if there are ways I'd much rather be doing it. Shana Tova Metuka. May you have a good and sweet year, and take your vitamins.